Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of the LFGM podcast. Let's fucking go, Mets. Matt, buddy boy, how you doing?
Oh, we're doing well over here. We're doing all right.
Dude, we're hanging on by a thread with the New York Metropolitans this week. It was a wild week. It was a bit of a roller coaster. We had 6 games with the Mets this week. We dropped the first 3 down in Tampa. That series was brutal. And then they come back and they get 2 out of 3 with Atlanta, dropping the last game last night. But I think more importantly, it's like we're not the New York Mets anymore. It's like watching the Syracuse Mets. Half the freaking team is on the IL.
Yeah, I mean it's tough. Like there's nothing that any of them can do. Literally, it's kind of like carefree baseball, and they probably feel this way too. It's like you have nothing to lose. I don't really feel like I don't get pissed watching them. Like if they screw up, I'm like, well, what are you gonna do? You know, like what?
Honestly, they should feel like pressure free and like just have fun, enjoy the moment. I know I have zero expectations with them right now, so it's like, dude, just go out there and have fun, man. Play ball, right?
The only disappointment, honestly, that I felt in the last 6-7 days was the Peterson start. Last night, Wednesday.
So
yeah.
I was talking to a few friends. I was texting the 2 runs, and it's like, yeah, guys, they're fucking taxed. Like, there's how many days in a row can we ask these guys to go out there and throw? You know, they threw 9 innings the game before, basically, with the opener. And then before that, they pieced it together. That game to me is not on the bullpen. That game is more on Peterson not be able to give you any length when he looked really good in the beginning.
Yeah, he looked really good, but it's like we've talked about this too. But it's he unravels real quick, man, and it's I mean, if you're Rojas and with his next start, do you just kind of guess on when he may unravel and just have a guy up in the 5th or 6th, like just at the very start, even if he's throwing scoreless? You know what I mean? Like,
that's what happened last night.
Don't do that.
Dude got into the 4th inning and it just unraveled. Like, I mean, it's like he had never pitched a baseball game before. It's unreal. I don't know if he runs out of gas, because I don't think he was out of gas in the 4th inning or in the 5th inning. But when it unravels, it's like, dude, it happens fast. There's no gradual decline. It's just fucking jumping off of a cliff.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's just next you can't really just have a guy ready in the 5th or 6th. It's like, all right, he's probably gonna fall apart here. Like, what does that say about what you believe in him? You know what I mean? So you just gotta I don't even think it's mental. I think it's just like physically sometimes the mechanics just go like haywire on him, and it's weird because like he pitched 7 last game.
7 in the 3rd,
yeah, and he didn't necessarily unravel in that 8th inning, but it was like, okay, it's definitely time to get him out. But
absolutely,
when he really, I wish he could have gave us length, and that's probably the only disappointing thing that I've seen this week.
No, I agree. I think down in Tampa, that was tough. Starters didn't necessarily perform at their very best, and Tampa scored some runs. It feels like the Rays, we caught them when they were getting hot. And then you go, after dropping 3 there, you're able to salvage the road trip a little bit and finish off, with a 2-4 record. I think they still have 3 in Miami. It's not at home. So we got 3 more left on this road trip. But I don't know. I expected more in the Tampa series, especially going in on a 7-game win streak. I really wanted them to win that last game, like steal a game there, and then you're 3-3 headed down to Miami. But these things happen. Let's go through the IL Mets. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, we've got Cookie Carrasco on the 60. Taijuan Walker just landed on the 10. Jacob deGrom, who should be back soon. I think he's starting with the Syracuse. No, it's got to be he's starting with the St. Lucie Mets tonight. So Jake's on the 10. Noah's on the 60. Kevin Pillar, who got drilled in the face. Have you seen a picture of him lately? He looks awful.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's not good. Let's circle back to Pillar. We got Seth Lugo, who's on the 60. Is on the 10, Brandon Nemo on the 10, and the one I think people are kind of forgetting, I keep seeing on Twitter, it's Jose Martinez is on the 60-day DL too. And I think he would have been a pretty good bat off the bench there, especially, I mean, he could play a little outfield too and first base. He could have been a guy that could be useful right now. So he's on the 60 as well. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 Mets on the IL who would be contributing. That's 12 out of 26. That's insane. That's more than it's nearly half the roster.
I forgot Jose Martinez.
Yeah, a lot of people forget about him. Yeah.
I don't think he's going to play this year either, though, because
No,
he's in
I don't think
bad, right? Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's weird. It's tough. I think it's just like almost like what it is too is bad luck more than anything. Like more than like oh, this is like a problem within the team. No, but I mean, like I'm pretty happy and like proud of the way they like band together and just like let's go out. And I think they play loose. Yeah, and I think they like just are like, hey, we're gonna play aggressive. We are gonna be involved in this game. The cheering from the bench is awesome, and we got guys stepping up. It's just it only goes for so long, Right. If you can't have Cameron Maven hitting third. That only goes for so long. Khalil Lee can't. He probably shouldn't have more than 5 more at bats, but he probably will. He probably will get them somehow. But he probably should. He's been fun to watch in the field, and he's provided help for us there. He really has like been a great addition in terms of that. People get so frustrated at like this kid striking out. It's like, dude, relax, man. He's a kid. And then people, the best part, Mets Twitter is just insane. Like, if you just want to lose your mind and be negative, go on Mets Twitter, because it's just like,
yeah, with your boy Frank the Tank.
Yeah, he's overkill at this point. But like the Mets will post the lineup, right? And you just read the comments and the replies, and everyone's like, holy shit, I don't know 5 through 9 here. Holy, what the hell is this? It's like,
guys, have you been paying attention?
What'd you expect?
Yeah, no, I know.
Who's injured and who's not. So who did you think we were going to have to fill this? Like, we're lucky that we do have the depth that we do with like.
Right. I was just literally, you read my mind. I was going to say, imagine Sandy didn't go out and get, some of these veteran guys to
bullpen guys too.
Right. I know this team would be a mess. It literally would be the Syracuse Mets. It would be, 1 through. Well, I mean, you got Lindor and Pete, but everybody else, it would be a mess. It would be an absolute mess. Let's talk about one of those Mets who's been one of the biggest contributors off the bench, Jonathan VR. This guy, put him anywhere you want in the lineup. He's swinging at pitches. He had a double the other night. He had the home run last night. He's been on fire, man. And you know what? Dude has still got some speed. He's not afraid to go from first to third. He's been a pleasant surprise for me because I didn't know really, what you were getting out of him when you first, when they first signed him. I thought it could have been like the Eduardo Nunez type deal, but I mean, he's been a revelation and he's been outstanding. And when JD comes back, he's got to keep playing. You got to find a way to get him in the lineup.
Yeah, especially with all these other guys out, we got to figure that out somehow. Like, you got to have both of those bats in. But like with VR, like I did have like, I wouldn't say high expectations, but I was like, oh, this guy's good and he's going to help out. And, I knew he had some pop, and then I knew he had some speed. And I was like, that's what, this team needs is the speed. He's good defensively, and, he's got to keep playing, and he is swaggy as fuck. I mean,
yeah, man. Swaggy. I think him and Lindor have a lot of fun over there together. It's like that Latino vibes they got going. I love watching him play, man. He's exciting. He's a baller, and he's pretty good over there at third base. And I know he came up. He played when he was with the Orioles. He played a lot of second base there, but he's been pretty good over there at third.
Yeah, no, he's been legit, and that'll be good too because like JD can play third, and we can shift VR over to second
Yeah,
base.
I can go to
Got
second.
two bats now,
Yeah.
like
Which moves Peraza. You would think Peraza goes back to being that role player, utility player off the bench. I've been pretty happy with Peraza too. He ripped a double down the line last night. That's another one who I think he gets overlooked a little bit. He's sound in the field.
he's
He's not
another one. Yeah,
VR, but he's got some speed too, and he ripped the double down the line. Austin Riley was playing off of the line. If he was playing doubles defense, no way does that get through. But hey, man, that's baseball. I like watching him play too, man. He's going to be an integral part of this team moving forward.
I liked him on the Reds. I really did. It's like at this point
Good
when,
glove, really good glove.
yeah, and I didn't even know that they signed him until I saw him up at bat the one time, his first at bat. I was like, oh, cool. But you got to figure out like when, because it seems like JD's the first guy to come back.
Yes.
Our outfield is going to be hurting for a long time. It seems a very, very long time. You got to figure out maybe like can one of these guys play outfield, right? Can VR go out there? We saw JD can't really go out there. Can Peraza go out there? You know what I mean? Like because we kind of need their bats. It's crazy to even say that. We need Peraza's bat.
Dude, I get what you're saying, but I think this is why they made the trade for Cameron Maybin, right?
I know, but he's not going to do anything.
Cameron Maybin strikes out and gets on first base. It was
I was like, this is how we roll at this point.
Yeah, I know, right?
The outfield is so hurting. I just laugh when I see them out there. I'm like, this is insane.
What was interesting to me was the last game, last night against the Braves, is that it comes out, Alonso's got a sore wrist, and I guess he got x-rays on the wrist. They came back negative. He's going to go for an MRI. It's like these guys, they're being really, really cautious with the guys right now. And I think this kind of goes back into, I'm going to go off a little bit here, but this goes into what we were saying, that it's not a 60-game season this year. It's a 162-game season, and I think you have to be really cautious with these guys because they're playing 102 more games than they did last year. It's especially with the pitchers, like a 10-day IL stint is not going to be the end of the world. Let's try to avoid the 60s. But back to what I was saying, Alonso, it sounds like they're being really cautious, but Dom over at first base. I mean, our outfield last night was Lee, Janeshwi, and Cameron Maybin. It's like, what on earth?
So I have a question for you, and I'm thinking about putting this out there on Twitter. Would Tim Tebow have been called up?
That's a great question. It crossed my mind. I think he would be right there, honestly.
I think he would have been called up, dude, which is insane.
Dude, it's probable. I would give him more than a 50-50 chance at this point.
Like, I think honestly, they knew that Khalil Lee wasn't ready.
But they
because he stuck out a ton in the minors, but they needed him. I'm thinking they might have called Tebow up, which is wild to think about. Imagine that.
It'd be crazy. That would be insane. Yeah, I mean, they called up Wilfredo Tovar. I think they're going to DFA him when one of these guys come up. I don't think he's ever going to see the field. But apparently, they were looking at some trades and teams were really, they wanted prospects from us. And Sandy was like, absolutely not. We need a short-term fix. And I think Tebow, honestly, he could have been that short-term fix. It would have been a fucking roller coaster, I'll tell you that. But it's kind of a roller coaster right now too, and we're just we're strapped in and we're you got to enjoy the ride at this point. So let's talk a little bit about the outfield. We got Maybin for $1. We've got Janeshwi Vargas, who's got a really long swing. I think if he ever shortens that swing up, he could actually be a decent role player. He's got some speed too. And then you got Khalil Lee, who you mentioned before. Lee, a few awesome catches out there in the outfield. I don't know if anybody really saw this too, but Austin Riley hit that double off of the wall, and Khalil Lee rocketed the freaking ball back into second base. He's got an absolute cannon in the outfield too. Whatever you get out of those three, I think is a bonus offensively.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that, and that's why like you can't go crazy with these guys up at bat. Like that's yeah, you would like to see Khalil Lee make contact at some point, but
He
these
will.
other guys, like they're doing all right, and like I gotta say, thank God for Thomas Nito.
Tomas.
Like, oh my God, man,
He's been good. He's been really good. He's making McCann look bad. I'll tell you that.
well, he's gonna have to start getting those two, maybe even three starts a week.
Yep.
Honestly,
He's
you
earning the
gotta
play.
play him.
Yeah.
It's getting to the point where we need guys like that. We need his bat in the lineup.
Crazy. I never thought I'd say we need Tomas Nito's bat in the lineup, but here we are. We're saying it.
But
And
he's
Patty Mazika, too, off the bench.
yeah, I mean,
He puts the ball in play. He doesn't strike out.
yeah, he puts the ball in play. It's nice. It seems like he kind of has that role as like a pinch hitter,
Yes.
middle of the of the game, like the sixth inning or so, when we're on
Yeah.
our third pitcher.
I was just gonna say.
Like that's a nice role to carve out for yourself. But hey, the guy makes contact, like you said, and contact goes a long ways. And honestly, that's something that a lot of our guys can sit back and watch and realize like contact goes a long ways.
Yeah.
It was getting to a point where our bench guys were making more contact than our three
Yes.
starters
Yes.
did have. And
Yes.
it would be nice, I will say, for those three guys to carry a little bit, but I'm not too
No, man.
high on that.
Lindor, Pete, and Dom, they got to step up. Dom looked a little lost last night. I mean, he was great at first base, scooping the ball, but I mean, at the plate, I don't think he's seeing the ball very well. I think he's kind of guessing at pitches when he's going up there. He seems like to me he's in his own head a little bit. Pete, we talked about the wrist issue, but if I watch him with a runner on third base and one out, strike out one more time, I'm going to lose it. Like, dude, you don't even need to get on base. Just hit a fly ball. That's all I'm asking. You're pretty good at that.
I know.
Lindor's going to step up, and we kind of talked about it a little bit, but James McCann too. We've seen glimpses. Same with Lindor. Like it's time to get those two, really going. They got to start building some confidence because we can't have Lindor batting in the 190s, and McCann, we just signed him to a 4-year deal. So I mean, Mets fans, you're going to be stuck with him for 3 more years. Like, let's get this guy going now.
He is very, very good defensively, though, like a legitimate stud behind the plate, which he showed time and time again. So
an absolute cannon. Why is Dansby Swanson stealing third base? I don't know, but dude, if he's going to do it, nail him, and he did. McCann's been really good back there.
Yeah, but like you said, we gotta have like our 3-4 regulars that are in the lineup. They gotta start doing some damage. Like I would like to see some multi-hit games from all of them at once. Imagine that. Then these bench guys can kind of go about their business and get a hit here and there and help out, not carry the load, which is what they've been doing, honestly.
Yeah. No, I know. I think it'll be it's going to be nice because we've got some teams coming up here. We got 3 with Miami who, last year they made the playoffs and they were a surprise team. It's not looking great for them this year. And then we've got 4 with Colorado back at home. And I don't know if anybody's paid attention to Colorado much, but they ain't winning many games either. So we got 7 games here where if these guys are going to start to pick it up, like you're going up, you're not going up against the Giants right now, who are off to a really hot start. Or I know the Dodgers have cooled down a little bit, but you're not going up against the defending World Series champs either here. Like you're going up against some teams where we've got a chance to, like we said earlier, you stay about 500 and keep that 3 games above 500 overall would be really nice.
Yeah, and that's all we need to do. And like you said, these 7 games are a nice. I wouldn't say break because you got to win them, but it's 2 nice series to have back to back for a team that's broken down and beaten up.
I think the scary thing is if we're looking at the schedule too, they go 17 days in a row 17 games in a row. So the next day off is June 7th. So it's going to be a stretch here for about 2.5 weeks where it's going to be a bit of a roller coaster and it's going to be super inconsistent. And, we're going to have some really exciting close games, and we may have a blowout or two where you see an infielder come in to pitch. But they just got to keep their heads above water and kind of band together and scratch out some runs like they had been doing earlier. So it's going to be it should be a wild ride. Let's talk really quick. Tommy Hunter, I thought was really good, and he's been really good. I wouldn't be shocked if they try to stretch him out potentially and make him your bullpen long man just in case he can get 3, 4. If you get 5 out of him even, that's amazing. But he's been really good, and he's been fun to watch. And Kevin Pillar, man, that guy is a fucking beast. To get hit in the face like that and to think about the rest of your teammates and someone on the opposing team before you think about yourself, it just shows you how dedicated to the game he really is and to his teammates and to the Met fan base, honestly, because he wants what's best for this team. And he wants everyone to know that he's going to be just fine. What a fucking beast, though, to take that pitch to the face like that and to walk it off and to be there the next day and ask about being in the lineup. What a fucking beast.
Yeah, to be honest, not many guys are going to be taking the pregame interview, 18 hours after that happens, and then to sit on the bench for the whole game.
Walking the lineup card out, talking to the manager, all power to him. I would be fucking comatose, man. I would say, give me all of the pain meds you got back there. But
dude, he's icing his face while watching the game.
I know, and they're all joking around with him too. So he's keeping things light for sure. I think anybody else around baseball is watching him. They're gonna realize that he's someone that you want around your clubhouse.
Yeah, and this is what I think, we're starting to see what makes this team special. We know this team is good because they're winning games without really having anyone for, upwards of a week and a half now.
Yep.
But it's a little bit different. You see the morale on this team and you see how everyone is and how they want to be at the ballpark every single day. And it's because of guys like Kevin Pillar who are out there and, could have easily been in the hotel room. Even after the pregame interview, which was great, right? Could have easily just been like, all right, I'm going to go rest, right? Which is probably what they offered me. He's like, no, I'm with the guys. I'm good. And it's things like that. And then Tommy Hunter just, be happy to be out there. That dude is just happy to put on a major league jersey, and then he's going to do whatever he can to stay in that jersey. And, I don't know what we get out of him going forward, just seeing his career. He's a guy that we've always seen over the past few years.
He's been around.
Yeah, he's been around. And, but even if that's what we get is a 2-inning opener from that guy with that energy and that attitude, I'll take that all day.
Hell yeah, because he's saving somebody else's arm too, and I think he's fully aware of his role, and I've just been so impressed. When you have zero expectations for someone and they go above and beyond, like a Tommy Hunter, that's impressive to me. It's tough for a guy on the other end of the spectrum, like Francisco Lindor. Our expectations are through the roof. You just got to try to calm yourself and realize that it's a marathon, not a sprint. And right now, maybe we got a little cramp here, right in the middle of the marathon, and we just you gotta, positive thoughts, positive vibes, and hope that cramp goes away. I got 2 names for you. They're Syracuse Mets, and we'll see what happens here with the starting pitching moving forward. I wish we had some probables, but we don't. I would imagine someone's going to get called up here pretty soon. But give me your thoughts on Jordan Yamamoto and Thomas Suzubeki, because I think it could be either of these guys. It could be both of them, but someone's going to have to come up and start some games for us. Right now, the only 2 starting pitchers that we have that are healthy are Peterson and Stroman and I mean if you want to call him a starter, Joey Lucchesi too. So someone's going to have to come up and make some starts here.
Yeah, I mean Stroman should be starting sometime this weekend, should he not?
Yes. Let me look at
Right,
it.
so that's one of those games. So I would imagine. I would even think maybe he's got to be tomorrow. I don't know. I'm trying to think of the last time that he pitched, but I feel like it's probably tomorrow. So we probably have to piece together Saturday and Sunday.
The probables for the 3 games against Miami are to be determined, and to be determined. Hold on, that's on the Mets app though. Let me look.
No, yeah, that's on the Mets website too. Like nobody freaking knows, and it's just, I get it, but I Stroman's got to be one of those. So yeah, he pitched Sunday, so he's gonna pitch Friday. He's pitching the first game, which is good. It's a nice way to start. Hopefully that's the win that we get, and hopefully, he can, carry us a bit, honestly, because we need it. So
okay. I got another site here that says Stroman Saturday. So Friday or Saturday, he's getting one of the first 2 games against Miami.
And yeah, I would like to see Yamamoto first because I don't think we saw him. He was fine. I thought he did well, and he got sent right back down because we had to call someone else up again. But I would like to see him again. And then we'll probably see Sezpacki. Is that how you say it?
Sezpacki.
Sezpacki. Now I wanted to bring this up to you. We might see him for a different reason. I'm very happy with the bullpen. I got a little bit of doubt with Aaron Loup.
Yeah, last night was not good. My initial thought was he was a little overused, and I think maybe a little arm fatigue in there going 2 days in a row. But last night was not good. I mean, the you could tell right away, and it sucks. I guess that's part of the 3 batter rule. But if there was no 3 batter rule, I think he would have been out after the first batter. It wasn't good last night.
Yeah, you could kind of tell where it was going, right? All right, this is and even now, his stats, he's got legit stats. He's got a 2.53 ERA. And he's pitched well, but there are times like last night that we've seen before. So it's almost maybe a matchup thing, and I just hope he doesn't get exposed over these next 2 weeks.
Yeah. I think
so. That's what I'm looking forward to, or looking towards.
Yeah, you could say the same about Jacob Barnes. I don't think he's MLB ready.
Really?
No, I don't think his stuff is. He doesn't have the command, man. He has no command of his slider. He's all over the place with that thing. It's what Acuna hit, 450 feet.
No, I know, but he got out of that bases loaded jam that Luke put him in. That was impressive.
That's fair. He has been beaten, though. I think his ERA is something up in the 6s or the 7s.
Dude, it's like an 8 ERA. Yeah. But the thing with him is also, and this is how relieving is, when he has a bad inning, he lets up all the runs. But when he's on, and he's been very, he's had some really good outings.
You could say the same about Trevor May. I think he was on there for a good 2 weeks, and I think the last few games. He gets behind in the count and hitters sit fastball. He's got to throw strikes. He's one of those guys that he cannot fall behind in the count, and he cannot. He does not like to pitch with men on base. You can see that.
We'll talk about overusing also.
Yeah, I know. That's another one. My guy Miguel Castro has been great. He's last night was another one. He let up a few runs down in Tampa, but I think overall, if you look at his season as a whole, I think he's been really good. It sucks because we optioned Trevor Hildenberger down, and he got claimed. I guess he was DFA'd. He was out of options already.
That sucks.
And he got claimed by the Giants. So it's somebody who we can really use right now.
We definitely could have used him.
Yeah. So he got claimed by the Giants, which is a good move on their part. But I wouldn't be surprised if they're looking at other guys like we lose Hildenberger. Maybe they're going to claim somebody else. So that's something to keep an eye on. I got to tell you, and I'm always on his case because I think he could be so much better than he actually is. But Giselman's got to step up. He has to step up. He has to be better.
Yeah, but we've seen him do pretty well though recently. Like his last couple have been really, really well, and where the beginning of the season was not kind to him at all. But his last couple outings, he's shown. Like his last outing, I think he pitched 2 or 3 innings, right? And like you could kind of see there's a limit there, right? Like he's definitely not a starter. Like you kind of see after 2 innings, he kind of runs out of gas real quick. So we kind of got to.
My biggest problem is that you just cannot walk the first person. I just let him hit the ball, man. I don't know what to tell you, bro. Like put the ball over the plate and let him put it in play. It seems like anytime he's in, it's like first person, just give him 4 pitches and it's an automatic walk. It's insane. I've never seen anything like it.
Even his last outing though, against the Braves, where he pitched 2 innings, he did give up an earned run, but he held it down after that home run.
Yeah, but if he's not walking people, he's not giving up that earned run. I guess that's my issue. It's like
no, he had a walk there too.
Giving up the run,
but he held it down where we were like, all right, we can seal this now with I think we won like 4-3 or something.
Yeah.
So, and maybe that's lowering expectations for all these bullpen guys is like, all right, I don't care if you give up 1 run, 2 runs, depending as long as we still continue to have the lead and it's not a mess for the next guy coming in, then I'll take it. My only thing is, at what point do we see Rojas kind of mess with the roster a little bit in terms of bring up more pitchers and less of these position player guys?
I do think they wanted to, but I think they wanted to bring up Stephen Tarpley, and I think they maybe wanted to bring up Sam McWilliams. Both of those guys tested positive for COVID. They're asymptomatic, and so they're both in their quarantine, I guess. So I think they did want to call some guys up, and you would think those would be maybe the first 2 to call up down in Syracuse. But you can't bring up somebody who's going to infect the whole team.
No, but listen, I like Mazeka, but at what point do we stop having 3 catchers?
Yeah.
And, use that as we really need a pitcher because, when you continue to run out of pitchers, especially with 17 games in a row, it's going to affect our big dogs. It's going to affect Castro. It's going to affect May, and it's going to affect Castro to the point where, all right, now we're in close games that we should be winning, and if they're on their 3rd day and they're shot, that's my real concern with this team.
No, I think that's a fair concern.
Bring up these guys when you have bullpen days and keep them up. Keep them up. Because if they throw 1 1/3 and they're not great, maybe use them 2 days from now when you need them again because you're going to need them again.
Even if they throw 1 1/3, that's still 1 1/3 that somebody else would have had to throw, right? You have to use different guys eventually. We don't have the starters right now to take us deep into the games. It's going to be a collective effort, and guys are going to have to pick it up, and some people are going to be pitching 3 days in a row. Hopefully Jake is back sooner rather than later, so that every 5th day it's going to be hopefully 6, 7, 8 innings, and some guys can take a little bit of a break back there. That is the saving grace of the next 17 games, I think, is Jacob deGrom. Hopefully all goes well. Fingers crossed. Down in St. Lucie, and he's starting in 5 days.
Yeah, no, you're right with that. That ultimately is the ultimate fixer with this, where
For sure.
But those other 2-3 days where we have to, have bullpen games, we have guys that could take the damage if they got to take a beating out there, and it's a Band-Aid on that game, then it is what it is.
All right, what do you think? I'm going to throw a name out there. He hasn't been in the major leagues for a little while. Met fans love him. He's an innings eater.
Oh no.
He's got a rubber arm, and he hit a
No.
home run in San Diego.
No.
What do you even like? Do you give him a ring? Hey Bart, how you doing, buddy? Hola, mi amigo.
Yeah, I think we're past that. And I
I know.
love Bart.
I love him.
Let these young guys go at it, and if they take their lickings, then that's what they're up there to do. You know, they'll serve a purpose with taking their licking.
I agree. I just crossed my mind like, man, we really need an innings eater. Who could possibly? Oh, I know one.
Probably throwing against like 16-year-olds now.
Throwing rocks in the DR. All right, man. You got anything else? I'm excited that they have a day off today because if I need a day off from watching them, I'm sure they need a day off. Down in Miami, and then they come home for 4 games with Colorado, and I think that's probably you'll get Jacob deGrom in one of those games. You got anything else? It's going to be an interesting ride here.
No, like you said, buckle up, and I just hope it goes by.
I know.
Without, where we don't just walk out just all bloodied and bruised.
Oh God. Well, we had the bloody and bruised part already with
yeah.
So hopefully it's just keep your heads above water, boys. Play 500 ball, get a little scrappy. Give it your best. All right, bro. That's another episode of the LFGM podcast. Let's put it in the books.